you get a chance to completely redesign one aspect of anything in higher education, what would that be?
I think the issue is of stereotyping, issue is of attitude of women towards herself, the issue is of class ceiling.
There are lots of international universities now opening their campuses in India, right? Having said this, India in 2024, there were 3.31 lakh students who went to the US to pursue their higher education.
So we have to promote India as a global destination for quality, affordable education, means affordable quality education. And I suppose this problem of unemployability will be addressed to a large extent.
Fundamentally, why are there accreditations in the first place? Indian government is saying that the institution should be NAAC accredited. What are we ensuring by doing that?
So there are level 1 to level 5 which are being proposed. The institutions can go for level wise ranking to show that I am accredited and now at this level.
So much of AI and so much of technology that there is a chance that AI will take over the faculties. There will be no need of a teacher.
Now the teachers have to work like a facilitator, as a mentor for the students. But these classroom spaces are really important.
Are we also heading towards one unified accreditation system? Hello everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Degree. As you all know, on every episode of Beyond the Degree, we invite senior academicians, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and try to understand that where is Indian higher education space exactly going and what should be done to make the India growth story great again. But today's episode is extremely special because we have Dr. Pankaj Mittal ma'am with us. As you all know, she is the Secretary General of Association of Indian Universities. Prior to this role, she has also been a part of a very critical role at UGC. In today's episode, we have had a lot of conversations and in-depth conversations around gross enrollment ratio, where is Indian space going, what is exactly happening in the NAAC, NBA and entire accreditations world. Ma'am has also spotted very unique characteristics about women empowerment in higher education. So let's dive deep into this episode. Let's get started. Hello ma'am, welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Degree. As the name suggests, this podcast is about talking to policymakers like you to understand how can education go just beyond the degree. So before we start, for all of our audience, can you help us understand how have these 38 years long career been, what you started as, and just help us understand.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. My name is Dr. Pankaj Mittal. I am Secretary General with Association of Indian Universities. I started my professional journey 38 years back in 1987 as a research officer in National Board of Examinations. After that, I went to University Grants Commission as education officer, and then over the years was promoted and became Joint Secretary. And after serving, say, around 7 years as Joint Secretary, I was invited to be the first regular Vice Chancellor of a rural women university in Haryana, where again I stayed for 6 years. Then I came back to UGC. Again, after some time, I came on deputation to Association of Indian Universities, and presently I am the second Women Secretary General of AIU in 100 years of its history.
Wow. So now that you brought this women factor in picture, when we were doing the research, we got to know that there are only 9.5% women officers in the entire higher education, especially only 3% of women being the vice chancellors at the VC position. So at one end, such good things are happening. So why do you think, are there any barriers for women to get into this?
So if you want to know the statistics of higher education and the participation of women in it, especially in the faculty positions, at say assistant professor level, we have 48% women. At associate professor level, we have around 37. At professor level, we have 27%. At VC level, now the situation is a bit better, and we have 7 to 8% women vice chancellors. So out of around 1,300 universities we have in our country, we have around 80 to 90 women vice chancellors. Why this number is decreasing? I think the issue is of stereotyping, issue is of attitude of women towards herself, the issue is of class ceiling. When I say stereotyping, suppose you think of a pilot, what face comes in front of you? A male face. Think of a doctor or an engineer, what face comes in front of you? A male face. As soon as you think of a receptionist, telephone operator, a female face comes in front of you. So this is despite the fact that in India we have the maximum number of women pilots.
Oh,
We are having the maximum number of STEM students, women STEM students. So this is a question of stereotyping, thinking that men are meant for bigger jobs and women are meant for smaller jobs. This has to be taken away. One thing. Second thing is attitude. For example, I'll give you an instance. When I was the vice chancellor of this women university, a group of women vice chancellors came from USA, and then they, during conversation, confided that in a country like USA, the salary of women vice chancellors is less than that of men vice chancellors. This was shocking for me. Because in India, I told them India is a developing country, and still, whether it is a male vice chancellor or a female vice chancellor, the salary is the same. But then they again told me that in USA the salaries are not fixed salaries; they are negotiated over the table, and women tend to negotiate lower. They feel we are not worth that much. So that is the attitude of women towards herself. She doesn't recognize her self worth. Therefore, they negotiate lower. And third is glass ceiling, that I told you the figure that till assistant professor, they are going. But at professor level, they are less, but at VC level, they are really less, because maybe they are not perceived as if they will be able to handle a university. University is a complicated ecosystem. Or maybe the woman herself feels that I have multiple responsibilities, I have multitasking to do, so maybe I will not be able to do it. Therefore, women are perceived lesser by the society as well as the women herself. So the attitude of women towards herself has to change.
amazing. So now that India is looking forward to a brighter future, can we expect that probably 5 years down the line, this 7 to 8% will go to probably 25-30%?
I'm sure it should be. Whether it will be or not, I don't know, but it should be. And the situation is improving over time.
Yeah, great. Ma'am, now coming to the higher education spectrum, you have led a lot of policy making, leadership positions. If you get a chance to completely redesign one aspect of anything in higher education, what would that be?
I think teaching pedagogy. The way we teach, mostly we are giving emphasis on rote learning. We are using the lecture method for teaching, whereas in most of the countries, flipped classroom method is adopted. The emphasis is on understanding. It is on rationalizing, problem solving. So we have to change our method of teaching, and that has been recommended in the national education policy as well, that the teaching methodology has to change to induce application-oriented teaching rather than information learning teaching.
Okay, that's great. Ma'am, so as you know, I'm a very much of a data person. So I've brought in some statistics. Okay, so there are 1,300 private universities or general universities in the country. There are lots of international universities now opening their campuses in India, right? Having said this, India in 2024, there were 3.31 lakh students who went to the US to pursue their higher education. India has surpassed China in terms of the highest number of students going for their master's degree outside. If India is getting known as a very growing economy and growing higher education market, then why do you think people are going so much outside the country? Aren't they getting those facilities in our country?
So as you said, we have 1,300 higher education institutions in the country, which includes IITs, which includes IIMs, central universities, state universities, deemed universities. The number of institutions in top ranking are not very large. And India is a large country with a student population of around 4.2 crore, 42 million students.
Yeah.
Which is bigger than the population of many countries.
Yeah.
So when you talk of 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs is not even 1% of the total student population we have, isn't it? So there are students who have the capacity to pay and who are wanting to get, say, quality higher education. They are wanting to go abroad. They are going abroad. In our country, the number of seats, like there are many students who didn't get admission in IIT, therefore they went abroad. So the number of quality institutions and the number of seats in those quality institutions is not large enough, keeping in view the student population of the country.
Okay.
Therefore, many of the students, and then there is a craze for going out. Some students, they want to pursue foreign degree, and some are going to foreign countries, especially the USA, to sort of work there, settle there. So there are many reasons. It is not only education which is the reason. There are many reasons of going abroad.
Okay.
That is why around 10 to 12 lakh students every year go abroad
Yeah.
for studying in foreign universities. Our problem is the incoming students. The incoming students are very less.
Yeah.
Around 49,000 are coming to India as against 10 to 12 lakh students which are going out of the country. So we have to promote India as a global destination for quality, affordable education, means affordable quality education, because the education in USA is not affordable for a common man. Education in Europe, UK is not affordable, but India can be a destination for affordable quality education, and that is what we should be promoting India as.
Okay.
So if students are going out, there is not a big problem, but we should concentrate on bringing in the students.
Right.
And second thing, the national education policy for the first time has given a lot of impetus on internationalization of higher education. And therefore, they said that, okay, Indian universities can go and set up their campuses abroad. Therefore, two IITs, one is IIT Madras, which has opened a campus in Zanzibar, and IIT Delhi, which has opened a campus in Abu Dhabi. So they are also going abroad. Many of our universities, private universities are also abroad.
Yeah.
There are many of them. MIT is abroad, Embodies is abroad, BITS Pilani is abroad, Mahi is abroad. So there are many. Our universities are also going abroad. And till now, I mean, this approval for foreign universities to come and set up their campuses in India happened just after national education policy. Till now, 3 universities are already operating. 2 from Australia, Deccan University and Wollongong University. They are in Gift City. And there's one Southampton University, which is in UK University, established their campus in Delhi NCR region. And then there are many who have been given LOI. Yesterday, 3 Australian universities were given an LOI. So there are many, around 10, 12, which are being given an LOI. So they will come eventually. But the capacity of these institutions is not very large right now. Again, we have 4.2 crore students. Right now, Deccan has around, I think, 50, 60 students. Wollongong has something like 20 students. Southampton, initially, they'll be admitting something like 350, 400 students. So India is such a large country that having foreign universities in terms of students is not going to impact much. But how it will benefit Indian universities is, it will be easy for them to go in for partnerships, student exchange, semester exchange, faculty exchange, research partnerships. So there can be an ecosystem which can be created in which a lot of diversity can be seen in Indian universities, and the partnerships can be right at their doorstep,
Right.
without going out. So that is something which is important and will benefit Indian.
Interesting. So are you saying that the arrival of a lot of international universities is not going to be a competition, but a lot of collaborative ecosystem?
It will be both. It will be a competition to give quality education for our institutions. But more than that, it will be a collaboration opportunity for all our Indian universities and the students. And then for Indian students also, like once if they go abroad, they have to spend a lot of money because cost of living there is very high. Cost of living here is less. And then many of these universities, for example, Deccan is giving admission to Indian students at lesser fee than they charge in the Deccan.
Correct.
So for our students also, if they want foreign education right at their doorstep without going out of India, if they're going to get foreign education, there's nothing wrong with it.
Perfect. Ma'am, but here you mentioned that we have 4.2 crore students in India, but and we have so many universities. I've also seen a lot of universities not able to fill up their seats. With this at one side, but the gross enrollment ratio currently is just around 30%. So for everybody to understand, this means that eligible students for the UG program, only 30% of them are actually pursuing the UG degree. So why is, if there is so much of affordable education everywhere, then why this?
One thing I'd like to correct you is the definition of gross enrollment ratio. It is not the eligible students. It is the number of students in the relevant age group of 18 to 23. When you talk of eligibility, eligibility will include that out of these total population of 18 to 23, how many are past 12th class and hence are eligible for admission to higher education. That number is small, and we did a study here. It was published in Economic and Political Weekly also. I named it as EER, eligible enrollment ratio. That in this group of 18 to 23, the relevant age group, if you see the number of 12th class pass outs and see how many of them are enrolled in higher education, that number becomes around 67%. So
Okay.
the eligible population is going for higher education. They are getting admission also, and we don't want that 100% should go to higher education, because many of them will go for skilling also, for many other jobs also. So 67% is a number which is almost equal with all developed countries. GR will look
Okay.
like low. So my take is that for higher education, we don't need to create expansion. We need to accommodate expansion, because with the say right to education, with Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, there are many schemes. Based on that, the student population which is eligible will increase. Means the pass outs, 12th pass outs will increase, and even if the ER remains at 67%, we have enough students and 50% can be reached very easily.
So, are you saying if the enrollment ratio is at 30% and the eligible is at 67%, and the 37% students are not eligible for higher education?
Yes,
Oh,
because they did not pass 12th class. There are a lot of dropouts in between.
okay.
In the school level, there are many dropouts at the 9th class, at the 11th class, 12th class. So there are many, the gross enrollment ratio in school education is around 100%.
Hmm.
And with the right to education, it is increasing. So I suppose that in times to come, these number of pass outs will increase and the GR will automatically increase.
Oh, so now this brings up to a very different shocking fact that 37% of the total eligible candidates are not getting eligible for higher education.
Because they didn't pass 12th class. No?
Interesting. And there was recently a very big media statement made by Bill Gates saying that in the next 10 years, there will be so much of AI and so much of technology that there is a chance that AI will take over the faculties. There will be no need of a teacher. That's what, at one hand, also, there are a lot of online courses, education is going online. So now in the next 5 years, what is the role of a faculty? If there is no faculty, is it still okay? Or just help us understand this.
What do you feel if this interview was held in an online mode? Will there be same warmth, same personal touch, same candid questions?
No.
No. So I don't think AI will replace teachers.
Okay.
AI can replace teachers who do not know AI. Therefore, it is important for every teacher to know AI and to use AI in an ethical manner. And teachers, earlier they were like information giving, that lecture method I was talking about. But now the teachers have to work like a facilitator, as a mentor for the students. But these classroom spaces are really important because they give peer learning experience, they give one-to-one learning experience, they give, and in the school you don't only go for education or in the only for say learning from the teacher and then you say that you can learn it online. But there are too many say, social factors for which you go to the school, personal factors. You learn so many things by seeing others, the behavioral pattern, the how you talk to each other, how you behave in front of the society, what are your etiquettes in the society. So many things you learn in the society.
Okay.
So therefore, I don't think that schools will close down, colleges will, everybody will be sitting at their homes and studying. No, that will not happen.
Okay.
You saw that during COVID, many institutions, many companies, they said, okay, we will have all work from home.
Yeah.
But are they not returning back? They are, because they are understood that human to human interaction is very important.
Correct.
Without human to human interaction, I mean, we all will not survive. No, I don't talk to you. I just keep on seeing your face on the screen. That nobody likes us. Otherwise, there will be mental problems, depression problems. There can be many more problems. And those problems we saw during COVID.
Yeah.
That many students felt that they were lost.
Correct. Correct. So probably in the next 5 years, the role of a faculty will emerge or evolve as something as a facilitator more than a teacher.
Yes.
Can we say that?
Yes, definitely. The
Okay.
role of teacher is definitely going to change. They have to change the method of teaching. They have to engage the students. It has to be a blended mode of learning or hybrid mode of learning. And we have to do a lot of capacity building of our teachers,
Yeah.
because sometimes the teachers don't know how to use the technology, how to use AI for say personalized teaching, for say student engagement, for say assessment and evaluation. So there are many ways in which AI can be ethically used, but we have to train our teachers. A capacity building of teachers is very important for every aspect, whether it is open book examination, whether it is the flipped classroom model, whether it is AI assisted teaching. So in everything, the teacher has to be trained So capacity building of teachers is important.
Interesting. And ma'am, we just talked about, you said a sentence that in the top ranked institutions are very less. So again, there is one statistics. If you take into consideration the B schools in the country, MBA plus PGDM, there are roughly around 4,000 odd management colleges, out of which in 24 rankings, NIRF 24 rankings, only 876 applied for NIRF rankings. Out of which, if you see the publications and research publications, there were a total of 7,000 odd publications done in the country, out of which 83% came from the top 100. So one, if there are so many institutions, why are they not applying for NIRF? They don't believe in it, or they feel they are not yet ready? And what is this happening?
I feel they feel that they are not yet ready. As soon as they are ready, they do apply because everybody wants to come into ranking. But still they are not ready, they don't feel like applying. So as soon as they are ready, that's why the government is now, or even the National Education Policy said that I'm not talking of ranking now, accreditation.
Yeah.
So the government of India felt that many institutions are not coming up for accreditation because they are feared that the score may be low and then they will be rated low. Therefore, they came up with the binary accreditation.
Yeah.
Yes or no, accredited or not accredited. So that is done basically to remove that fear, so that the institutions at least become accredited. And once they go for accreditation, they come to know about their shortfalls, whatever is lacking in them, so they can improve themselves. So it is a way of improving themselves rather than just getting a score. It is also a way of improving
themselves. Okay. Yes. So good that we brought up the point of accreditations. So ma'am, this is a good platform to ask you this question, that fundamentally, why are there accreditations in the first place? What is NAAC? Why UGC is saying, or Indian government is saying that the institution should be NAAC accredited? What are we ensuring by doing NAAC?
First thing, accreditation gives you a status, and through which the students who are wanting to take admission in various institutions, they come to know about the quality of the institution. Because if I want to take admission in, say, X institution, and there is no rating available, I will not know whether it is a good institution or a bad institution. So therefore, world over, accreditation is taken up as a benchmarking exercise to know whether the institution is a good institution or a bad institution. That is for the public. But for the institution itself, how it is helpful is that once you go for accreditation, then all your systems, all your procedures, they are seen and your quality is seen, and then you come to know that where you are lacking. And then once you know where you are lacking, it is very easy to correct your mistakes.
Correct.
So therefore, that works as a assessment tool for the institutions to improve themselves in the future. That is why the University Grants Commission is also again and again insisting that accreditation should be there, because it will provide you a benchmarking as well as a tool for assessing yourself and correcting yourself.
Correct. Okay, and what is your message towards the VCs or institutional directors of the institutions जिनको ऐसा लगता है कि शायद हम नहीं कर पाएंगे अभी NAAC, we are not yet ready, या डर लगता है, तो what is your suggestion to them?
That is why the UGC National Education Policy has come out with a new system, and they are saying that we should make it binary. Binary in the sense whether accredited or not accredited. Right now, institutions are having a fear कि C grade आ गया तो फिर सब लोग मुझे कहेंगे C grade institution है या B grade institution है, तो इसलिए वो कहते हैं जब तक मैं A के काबिल नहीं हो जाऊंगा मैं accreditation के लिए जाऊंगा ही नहीं. तो हमने द नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने ये रिकमेंडेशन किया है कि पूरी दुनिया में इट्स मोस्टली बाइनरी, it's either accredited or not accredited. So let us introduce binary in India also. And once binary is there, the universities or the colleges will not have that fear कि C grade आ जाएगा, B grade आ जाएगा. They will be either accredited, not accredited. And after accreditation, if they want to go for matured ranking, level-wise ranking, so there are level 1 to level 5 which are being proposed. So the teachers, the institutions can go for level-wise ranking to show that I am accredited and now at this level. So till they are ready for a particular level, they will not apply. So as soon as they feel they are ready for a particular level, they will apply and get that level-wise maturity-based accreditation also.
Okay. This as a concept sounds great, ma'am, but there are a lot of delays in, launching binary accreditations also. It was supposed, that we were supposed to get a maturity-based accreditation ranking by this December as per the first intimation by UGC. then are there any issues going on? Why is there so much of confusion?
I think there are procedures which are to be formulated, so that may be taking some time, but it will be done soon.
Okay, and also as there are a lot of changes going on in the entire regulatory bodies, are we also heading towards one unified accreditation system?
National Education Policy talks about total restructuring of higher education at various levels. One is at the governance level, then at the university level, then at the program level, then at the teacher level. But right now you're talking about the restructuring at the organization, means governance level.
Governance.
So what the National Education Policy has recommended, that there should be one unified body by, say, the UGC, AICT, NCT, they all will combine together and form one body called Higher Education Commission of India.
Okay.
So HECI is there, Higher Education Commission of India, and there are various verticals which relate to regulation, which relate to accreditation. So when you talk of accreditation vertical, there is one NAC, National Accreditation Council. Right now we have NAAC, NAAC,
Okay.
which is the only accreditation body of the Government of India. And one body for such a large ecosystem seems a bit difficult for them to achieve the target of accrediting everybody. We have around 48,000 colleges, we have 1,300 universities. So in NAC, the concept is that it will work like a meta accreditation agency.
Okay.
Means NAC will accredit the accrediting institutions, mean the institutions which will accredit the universities. So
Oh.
there will be accreditors, many of them, which will be accredited by NAC, and maybe NAAC may become NAC, or NAAC may be one of the institutions. We don't know yet.
Oh.
But there will be one NAC which will be a meta accrediting agencies, which will be accrediting the accreditors, and then they will accredit the institutions. So when there is multiple institutions, the accreditation will be faster.
Okay, so let us break it down, ma'am. This is very new information for me as well. So are you saying that NAC is at a top level, then there are some sub-accrediting bodies, and can I say NAC at the sub-accrediting body level?
That is not clear right now.
Okay.
NAC can be the meta accrediting body also. NAC can be the one of the accrediting institutions also.
But those will be government bodies, not private agencies.
They can be anybody. They can be. It depends on what regulations are made by the UGC.
Okay.
So regulation will decide whether the private accreditors have to be accredited or not.
Oh.
So I am not very sure of it, that whether that decision has been taken or not. But of course government can be there, private will be there or not, I am not aware of.
Okay, so we are probably trying to decentralize accreditations more.
Means we are trying to create multiple accrediting agencies so that the work for the large country like India doesn't suffer.
Interesting. Now at all of this horizon, how is and where is AIU placed? What is the core role of AIU and how does this complement to AIU?
So AIU is a association. It is not a regulatory body. It is not created by an act of parliament. So we cannot regulate or discipline or issue orders to the university. So we are a facilitating body. We facilitate the universities. So for example, accreditation is a must. If the universities come to us, how to say make the proposal for accreditation, ethical proposal for accreditation, we can help them out. We keep on doing many workshops for the university teachers, because sometimes what happens is our universities are not able to present the information in the right manner. So they sometimes they don't even collect the information. So guiding them, hand-holding them, facilitating them, that is the work of the AIU as a association. And as a sort of mother of all the institutions, we do handhold and facilitate and create opportunities. For example, the regulator tells what to do, we tell them how to do.
Okay. Okay. So you are a helping hand to universities to go towards their path of excellence. So ma'am, we are talking about NAAC, NBA, a lot of accreditations, and in sub mein, what I understand is at the end of the day, we are making sure that a good graduate is graduating from the institution, right? Again, there are some statistics around some Skill India report that was published last year, which told that there are roughly around 55 to 60% of graduates who are unemployable. So university is giving everything. So it is a question of demand supply. There is a lot of supply, and we are only talking about accrediting the supply. Institutes अच्छे हैं क्या कैसे जा रहा है, but something is also probably going wrong in the demand side. Why do you think this is happening?
So I know about this report, India Skill Report. AIU was a partner in that report along with the box. And there are issues with the employability. The reasons are many. The reason is the curriculum is not updated. There is no industry integration. There are no internships to give, say, hands-on experience in a work environment to the students. Then the teaching pedagogy which we use, that is more of say theoretical knowledge rather than the practical knowledge. So there are multiple ways, multiple reasons for this. So again, this issue was taken up in the national education policy, and it was seen that the number of skilled graduates is very less. And one of the reasons is because skilling is considered as a blue collar job as compared to academic jobs. So national education policy itself mentioned that we should be having more of skilled graduates from our institutions. And this problem of having the disparity between skill and higher education, because once one enters into skill education, they cannot into higher education. And once one is in higher education, they cannot enter into skill education. So what the new framework which has come is, there are two frameworks, National Higher Education Qualification Framework and National Skill Qualification Framework.
Okay.
So now skill is not considered as inferior or smaller. So they are at the same level. People can, or students can migrate from skill to higher and higher to skill at both levels. And at various levels, it has been given level 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that the students can migrate from each other so that they can learn.
Okay.
So a lot of experiential learning or prior learning has been given a recognition. Suppose I am a carpenter and I know I have some skills of carpentry, but I could not get that skill assessed because there were no procedure available. Now we call it recognition of prior learning, in which my skill will be assessed and I will be given a certificate according to the level of the skill I possess.
Oh,
So with that skill certificate, I can go in for higher education also, or further up my skill education also.
okay.
So there is now a total integration of higher education and the skill education. Especially NSDC was formed, Ministry of Skill was formed, there are so many sector skill councils. So skilling is being given a lot of importance, and I suppose this problem of unemployability will be addressed to a large extent with this.
Interesting. Because ma'am, also when we talk about especially NIRF rankings, there are so many parameters who define an institution, right? And we constantly talk about improving them. But when we see students, when they take admissions into some university, they are not even looking at all these parameters. They are looking at only kitna acha placement hoga, how good is the infrastructure, and what is the perception of this university, right? So do you also think that students should also be more curious or more cautious when they take admissions at the right places?
So nowadays students are more aware. Whenever they want to go an institution, they see their NAAC rating, they see their NIRF ranking, they see their world ranking.
Okay.
And the parameters which you are talking about, placements or perception or infrastructure, they are included in these rankings. So if an institution has a good infrastructure, a good perception, good, rather in world ranking, there's a lot of importance given to perception, both for the employer's perception and the academician's perception. So perception plays a lot of role, even in NIRF perception, because perception plays a role in ranking only, not in accreditation. So all these parameters are playing a role, because of which the institution is getting a higher ranking, whether in world ranking or Indian ranking, which is NIRF, or they are even having a better rating in the accreditation. So students are looking at it. It's not that they are not looking at it, and that is why the universities are running after ranking, accreditation, and then even world ranking.
Right.
But my take on them is that instead of running for the accreditation, not accreditation, rankings, especially world rankings, they should improve their systems. And once they improve their systems, better ranking will be a byproduct.
Correct.
Rather than running for rankings, they should concentrate on improving the quality of the education, and the ranking will be a byproduct which will come by itself.
Correct. Fair enough, ma'am. And on all this contrary, we also read that you have received some award from the Indian government for digital transformations, and also technology is going to play a huge role in all this. So what areas in higher education do you think technology will significantly disrupt in a positive way?
The award you're talking about is when we instituted Swayam.
Okay.
The SWAYAM is a India MOOCs platform. Till that time, MOOCs was not known in the Indian conditions, and we didn't have a government platform for providing MOOCs courses. So SWAYAM was a platform in which online courses were available to the students, and then the UGC also said earlier that 20% of the courses in a regular program can be done through SWAYAM, but later it was converted into 40% at the time of COVID. So during COVID, the SWAYAM became a boon for the students, because there were self-paced courses, there were say courses which were taught online by the teachers in a structured manner, and there was an assessment and they used to get the credits for that. So technology is going to play a very big role, whether it is imparting education or it is teaching pedagogy, because now when you say teach a class of say 100 and the normal teacher is teaching at one level, you say average level. So there are students who are below average and there are students who are above average. But if you use AI, you can go in for personalized learning.
Yeah.
So, but again, you have to do the capacity building of teachers to teach them on how to use AI for say teaching, learning, governance and research. And AIU has taken a lead in this. We have established something like 70, 80 AADCs, we call them, Academic and Administrative Development Centers, where the primary function is to teach the faculty members on how to use the technology for teaching, learning, governance, research, so that they are not unaware of it, how to use better teaching methods, how to use better research methods. So all that capacity building is required, and that is what we are doing.
Amazing. So towards the last section, ma'am, now we talked about capacity building. So faculty is at probably the epicenter of delivery of education. Whatever, however great policies you define, it is finally going to get executed by the faculty. Now, let us consider I am teaching the same subject. I am at some tier 2 institution in the country, and versus I am teaching at IITs. As a faculty, what are the parameters that I should be looking at when I decide my pedagogy? Should it be same? Should it be different? Just help us understand this framework.
See, the teachers who are working in a, say, rural university, the cohort of students which comes to them is of a lower level. The cohort of students which comes to the teachers teaching at IIT is at a much, much higher level. Rather, that is cream of the cream. I mean, the best students come there. So the teaching pedagogy will change, because here their language can be a problem.
Yeah.
So they have to use, say, local language, mixed language, technology can be a problem. But then they have to work much, much harder, because the students they are catering to are at a lower level. They did not get the opportunity to come at the highest level. So they have to design their pedagogy in such a manner that it suits the children, but they achieve much, much larger objectives.
Yeah.
At IITs, the children are already knowing a lot. They have access to technology, they have access to resources, best labs are there. So the teaching pedagogy, I mean, the teacher has to do a different type of working with the students in IITs and the students in the, say, rural university.
Amazing. So finally, the work of a teacher is to take a student from point A to point B.
Yes.
Right. Correct. And ma'am, the last interesting question is that I recently read about Nalanda University, which was established way decades, centuries back in India. And at that point of time, India was the global education hub. People used to look at India as probably the only place where higher education can be imparted. Now probably things are not in the similar way. Probably 10 years down the line, all the reforms that are happening in India, is India on the growth trajectory, and will the glory of those Nalanda University types thing will come back?
So Nalanda was established in 5th century BC. At that time, we had something like 10,000 students in that university from all over the world.
Yeah.
So that was the type of the university, and it was seen as the hub of higher education, and it was very, very sought after university. So when we talk of internationalization in Indian context, we are not, I mean, this is not new for India. This was happening so long, thousands of years back. So now we have to regain that glory. In between, there were many invasions. So we have lost our glory a little bit. But now with the new education policy and with the work the government is doing, the reforms which are taking up, the way we are promoting internationalization of higher education, the way we are creating an ecosystem in which there is a lot of diversity, I suppose we will regain that.
Yeah.
And very soon we'll be having many, many more international students, and then sort of projecting India as a, say, global destination for affordable quality.
Great. So you see that as a possible future in the next 5 to 10 years.
I cannot say 5 to 10 years, but eventually it will be there.
Great, great. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your time. All
Thank
of
you
this.
very much.
I learned a lot from this entire conversation. I'm pretty sure everybody has learned a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and
Thank
all the
you.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you.